A Coach on and Off the Field by Jennifer Zeinner and Tim Hagen from Progress Coaching. This is a segment Jennifer and I have been putting together to talk about the value of being a coach, certainly in the youth sports arena, but it can also be a coach for music. It could be coaching for forensic. It could be a coach for anything, but really a coach on and off the field is about really taking those coaching skills from one area to the other. When you think about coaching and you think about some of the things that youth sports go through as a frame of reference, I go back to the similarities. The number one thing that kids wanted from their youth sports career was to have fun. The second thing they wanted was to play with their friends. Yet, the number one thing that got in their way, according to a study at the Positive Coaching Alliance, was the drive home with the parents. Because the parents go into corrective action mode. Now, how is that similar to the corporate workplace? Think about it. If a child just played a game and whether he or she won or lost and the parents are watching their child, what they want their child to do is do better. And they start to go into corrective action mode, telling them what they need to practice on, telling them what they typically did well, but also areas where they needed to improve. And they unload about 14 to 15 things by the time they hit the driveway. Now let me ask you this question. In the corporate world, somebody gets called into the boss's office. What's the employee's first impression? Every time I've asked that question, do you know what I get? Uh-oh, what did I do wrong? Why? Because that's typically what happens. So when you think about the fiber of teamwork in the corporate workplace, those behaviors, those lessons of being a good teammate have been learned from childhood. So let's take some of the things that are going on today, and let's take something like basketball. And so many people are talking about things like AAU basketball. Now, this is nothing against AAU basketball, yet when you talk to players who go to AAU tournaments and their team, they're really there to be showcased to get a scholarship. Teamwork's kind of flown out the window, and there's actual research showing that these kids will typically struggle to fit into a corporate environment or fit into an environment where they have to operate as an equal teammate. Not everybody, but certainly some of them. There are similarities. Now, I coach volleyball. At our local high school, I started the program with my friend here at the end. And we ran it like a business. Now think about starting a business. What do they say? It takes about 2 years before you start to show a profit, right? You're going to lose money. I knew in our first 2 years we were going to lose. Now the ironic thing is our first year we were 3-18. The next year we were 12-13. This is our team from our 5th year. Now we were competing with teams with a 40, 50, 60 year rich history of playing boys volleyball. And I remember when I took the job, I presented a business plan. The vice principal and the athletic director looked at me really strangely, like, no one's ever done this. And I said, I'll give you 3 to 5 years. I will get this off the ground. And oh, by the way, I will build a program and we will have a second JV team, meaning we're going to have talent constantly coming up. And that's exactly what happened. We had a JV team, not by our 5th year, but by our 3rd year. I said we would have a winning season by the end of our 6th season. We had a winning season by our 4th year. By the 5th year, which is the picture of these guys here, we won the conference championship for the first time, and then won it again our 6th year. Now, I'm no longer the varsity coach. My friend here in the picture, Damien, is now the varsity coach. And it's total succession planning. We literally together ran this program like a business. How? We started a sand camp. We've invested money into the program. We bought a serving machine. Our account always has cash. And I cannot tell you when I talk to the athletic director how many times he'll say, oh yeah, we have people who are in the hole. And I go, what do you mean in the hole? Well, they have a negative balance. I said, well, how can they have a negative balance? Well, the only way they can have a negative balance is they're spending money they don't have. We constantly have money, and we've actually paid additional coaches outside of the budget of the school district so we can give our kids more individual attention. How do we do that? We have our own sand volleyball camp. Damien started a volleyball club where all of these kids are playing. So when you look at these kids and you look at their faces and you look at the two goofballs in the front posing, and by the way, those two kids rarely ever played, but they were two of our most favorite kids. You know why? They were the most fun bench kids you'll ever meet in your life. The funny thing was they had fun. We've got to have fun. We've got to get back to having fun. And when you look at some of these kids, and you look at the kids in the middle, number 12, he was third team All-State. He's going to run our sand camp this summer. Number 8 coached club volleyball for me last year. The kid in the front with the glasses, number 24, just recently finished his first club season as a coach. So what we do is we also teach the kids how to coach. We run our volleyball program much like a business. We're always raising money. We're always investing in the kids. There's always succession planning. Now this year, I'm actually going to be the freshman coach, so I'm going to build the talent from the bottom up. And it's always about the program. And that's one thing I think employees lose sight of as well. People are always me, me, me. How does it affect me? Well, now unemployment's going through the roof. And it's definitely about we. It's got to always be about the business, because without the business making money, people don't have jobs. So my role has now changed. I now work for Damien. Damien's in charge. And I'm in charge of the 14 or the 15-year-olds, the freshman team, which I'm fine with, because what that ultimately does is allow us to continue to build the program, much like what we need to do with talent in the corporate world. We have to constantly be building talent. Remember, we're always a coach on the field and off the field.